a community.
Welcome to the Crochet Crowd. Today we are going to do a newborn to 3-month size of a seedling crochet hat. This is a V-stitch where the V-stitches are mixed within each other and they're just going to be building up. You'll need a tape measure today in order to be able to measure out. You really want to follow your gauge. We have videos on how to do a gauge. You will see this information on the article that's linked in the video description as well as we have a free workshop that is actually using the seedling hats to be able to show you what to do. So we were using Red Heart soft baby steps here, and in the gauge that I have given you, it's 15 single crochet and 16 rows. You'll use a 5mm size H8 crochet hook. If you are using Red Heart Comfort yarn, you're going to want to reduce your hook down to a 4.5mm, a size US 7, and because of that you want to check your gauge before you make that decision. So make sure if you are substituting, check your gauge or your hat will not be the right size. In this pattern here we have just the simple instruction of everything that you possibly need. This is called a V-stitch when there's 2 double crochets that share a stitch. When there's a V-stitch, the V-stitch is inside between the posts like so, and when we have to do an increase we have to put in a V-stitch not only in the space here of how it's going in here, but in between 2 groups of V-stitches when we do an increase of a hat. You're going to notice that the instructions are actually pretty simple. Starting off here, we'll be chaining 3 and then we'll just be continuing around. It is faster for you to do a gauge check than it is for you to make a whole hat without checking your gauge, because when you get to the end of your hat and you realize it's the wrong size, if you just would have spent a few minutes for the gauge, you'd be working out. Once we get to a certain size, we are just going to keep on going. So it's a 4.5mm tall. So it's from the start of the hat to there, and then we do the last round to be able to finish. You also, on this particular one, for all the seedling hats, there's a total of 5 designs, all the way up to 3 years of age. You're going to notice is that there's a stitch diagram, and this one here is for the size that we're doing today. So there's different diagrams for all 5 sizes. You'll see that information. Go to the video description. You'll see a link to this, and you can go from there. So let's begin with whatever size hook that you decided based on gauge, and if you are going to take a chance, then hey, let's go for it. We're going to begin with a slip knot and put your hook on. And if you need slower tutorials for basics like that, you'll find that here on this channel. We're going to begin with the center and we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And using the 3rd chain away, we want to start with the first round by putting in 8 half double crochets here. This chaining that we have that's extra is not included as a stitch. So starting in the 3rd chain away, put in 8 half double crochets. So wrap the hook and going in to the chain, pull through all 3. So that's 1 of 8. So let's count these out together. That's 2. As you get over this, you just put this straggler with it so it gets stuck underneath. Therefore you don't have to sew that in. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, put that straggler on the back side. So you've gone over it, hopefully. And so if you have 8, verify before you go on any further. So 1, count the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slip stitch to the 8th one back. Okay. And if you did go over your straggler, now's the time to turn it over. Let's get it out of the way. And let's move on to round number 2. Let's start with round number 2. Every time there's 2 V-stitch or 2, so let's turn it over and we're back to the front side of the work again. And so every time there's 2 double crochets that sit beside each other, that is a V-stitch. So when you go to begin, you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's your first double crochet, and in the same one of the join, you're going to double crochet again. This 2 together is considered a V-stitch. So when you're going to play in the future, you'll play in between the 2 posts. So come into your next stitch, before you get there though, you're going to chain 1, and in the next stitch, 2 double crochet. So there's another V-stitch right there. See this group of 2. Chain 1, go to your next one, 2 double crochet in. Chain 1, 2 double crochet in. You keep doing that around. So chain 1, next one, 2 double crochet in. Chain 1, 2 double crochet in the next. So there's 8 groups of these 2 double crochets. If you need stitch counts, please go to the video description. You'll see the article is linked and you can get that information there as well. So chain up 1, 2 into the next. Chain 1, and this is the last one. I can tell from experience, but I will show you how to know that. So there's 2 into this one, and then chain 1. How I know is that this here is always leaning towards the beginning, and there should be 8 groups of 2. So 2, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once you have that done, you're just going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. And that was round number 2. And now we're going to begin round number 3. Round number 3, we need to slip stitch to the middle of this V-stitch. So consider the 2 is together as a stitch. So just slip stitch in, and that puts you in the between. So you need to chain 3, that's your first double crochet, and then you need to place another double crochet inside that same spot. So it's a V-stitch sitting within a V-stitch. So for this round, there's going to be a V-stitch in between each one of the posts going around. So right here, to put in another V-stitch, that means that there's 2 double crochet. Notice that I did not chain 1 like we did in the last round. So we come in here, and there's going to be a V-stitch right there. So there's a V-stitch that separates each one of these V-stitches here. So come to the next one, 2 double crochet, and then come to your next one right here. And I need you to do that all the way around. So there's a V-stitch in between each of the posts going around for round number 3. And I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm coming all the way back around. I'm coming to the space before the first one. So there should be 16 groups of 2 going around. If you want to verify that, you can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Once you've verified, or if you're confident, just slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. And now we're going to move on to round number 4. And round number 4 is going to increase a little bit, but I want to take you to the diagram to explain. So here in the diagram, I have marked which ones are going to be the increase. So when you see it regular blue, it's a V-stitch sitting inside a V-stitch. So we're going to start off with our first one, and then the first 2 are V-stitches within a V-stitch. See this one here? It's going in between the 2 V-stitches. So this would be considered an increase. And so then we have another group, I think it's 5, all within the V-stitches, and then we slam in another one in between a group, and so forth. So we only have to increase by 6 stitches in this next round to get to the newborn size. That's how fast it is. So we're going to begin that next. So let's begin number 4. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch ourselves in between the V. So just come in between the V and slip stitch, and that's your starting point. You'll have to do that on every round going forward. You're going to then chain 3, counts as your first double crochet, and another double crochet into the same one. So it's a V-stitch within a V-stitch. Now the next 2 V-stitches are inside an existing V-stitch. Okay, so you see the next one right here. You're going to go right into that. So you're going to V-stitch within a V-stitch. do it again. And now we need to increase the stitch work in the next one. So we don't jump to the next V-stitch, we go to the space between the two V-stitches for the next one. So V in between the space. And this allows us to get a slightly bigger. Now the next 5 are a V-stitch within a V-stitch. So looking at each V-stitch, do the next 5 and we'll count those out together. So a V-stitch within a V. So we have 1 V-stitch done. Go to your next V-stitch, right in the center, number 2. Go to your next V-stitch, a V within a V. This is number 3. Next V-stitch, a V within a V. That was number 4. And then a V-stitch within a V. This is your 5th one. So if you're not sure, if you look back, you can actually kind of tell. See how these are really grouped close together? So you had a V within a V, you had a V between the space, and then you had a V within a V. So there should be 5 V's within a V after the space one was done. So we have 1 V, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to do another increase now, so we're going to go into the space between the two V's and place in a V. And now the next 5 V-stitches will be V-stitches. So starting in the first one. So we have 1. Next V-stitch. It's 2. Next V-stitch. It's 3. Next V-stitch, it's 4, and next V-stitch, that's your 5th one. I tried to make the increasing as easy as possible to remember. So now that we have our 5 in, we're going to come into the space before the next V-stitch to do another increase. And we should technically only have 3 V-stitches left before we get to the first one. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So you'll apply a V-stitch within a V-stitch in the last 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have that done. So there should be a total of 19 V-stitches all the way around if you want to count those, if you don't feel confident, but I would count it anyway just to be sure. And then I would then slip stitch to the top of the first chain 3. So round number 5 is going to be the repeat pattern until you get to the height of the hat that we need, and we'll be covering that next. Round number 5 and all the way to 4.5 inches tall, and it's going to start bending, and so it'll be 4 inches from the top of the circle to the brim. And so every time you start a round number 5, you need to slip stitch in to the next V. Get in the middle and chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet in the same V. So you're only looking for V's now. You're not doing any more increasing, so you look for the next V and just go right in between. And so for the ones that are jammed closer together because you've done an increase, they will spread out properly. See how they're kind of jammed together? So they will spread out. So a V within a V. Okay, a V within a V. A V within a V, and so on. So you're going to do that all the way around for round number 5, and I'll be back at the end of the round to recap. And you're going to notice is that the sizing of the hat is going to start buckling and bowling in on you. And when you do that, just make sure that you flip it like this and you work on the outside going around. I'll see you at the end of round number 5. At the end of number 5, you can see this is where we started. We're just going to slip stitch, and then you keep on going. So you see how it's kind of bowling up? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so what I need you to do is just to go continuously around until you can get to 4.5 inches from here to here, and I'll see you back here in a few moments. So a few moments ago I left you, and right from the top to here is approximately 4.5 inches. So that means that we're ready for the final border to finish this thing off. Last round, you're just going to chain 1, and you were going to single crochet in each one of the double crochets. So don't worry about the spacing, don't worry about the V-stitches, just place in 1 single crochet on the top of each one of the double crochets around. And I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm coming around. Now, if you're experienced in crochet, then you know that we are going to use a slip stitch to the first. But what happens with that is that if you do that, it creates a lump on the brim. So I'm going to show you an invisible join. So on the last stitch that we have, we're just going to trim this yarn a little bit longer so that we can use it to fasten it in, and just pull up here. So we have not joined it yet. Place this strand inside of a tapestry needle. You're going to want to use a tapestry needle anyway. Weaving it in with your crochet hook will not stop the tails from popping out. So right where this is coming out of, see how it's coming out of a loop? We're going to come back into that loop, but we need to go from the back to the front as if we were going to crochet. So normally we would crochet through the front side, so we're going to come from the back and pull that through. And we're going to come down into the hole where this is coming out of. And we're going to go towards the inside of the hat. And what we're doing here is that when we pull this, we want to make it look like the same distance of the rest of them. So just kind of pull so it looks the same. See? And now turn it to the inside of the hat and just create a little knot within itself so it doesn't come out. So pulling it through, and then just pull through the loop of the same strand you're working with, and that will tighten it onto itself. But you're not done. You have to weave it back and forth on the back of this hat on the inside. So we come through once, slightly different path, number 2. And the third time is a charm. So weaving it back and forth is the right answer to do. And then you can safely trim that down. So the invisible join prevented a lump from forming onto here. You can always add an optional ribbon where you like to put your ribbon as on the last round of a V-stitch. And when you put it in, you're just going to weave it in between the V-stitches. So there's a group of V-stitches, just pop it back out and go all the way around. Doing that, make sure that the ribbon stays flat. You should also caution the parent that is getting this, is that these ribbons can be a choking hazard if they are left unattended, as far as the baby is concerned, if they start reaching up and being able to pull on the strands. So be very cautious of that. If you're going to use it in a baby blanket, you got to make sure that you sew the ribbon right directly all the way in the stitch work across, and not just a tie, because you can see if you pull it up, see, it'll create a loop. So this is a really good photo opportunity, but not necessarily practical. And you can always do generic hats too, so that you don't know the gender of the baby, and then you can use a ribbon to be able to highlight it, the color, for gifting purposes as well. So I'm just going to keep weaving in and out, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm coming all the way around. I'm going to skip the last hole so that it doesn't go down, so both of these are on the right side. And if you need more, you can just pull on it and give it more. Just make sure you don't ruin the stretch of the sense that you pull this ribbon too tight that it doesn't have stretch. So now you're going to trim your ribbon and then just lay it flat and then tie into a bow tie. If you have a better way of doing it, you can. And when you pull on it, don't pull so that it's pulling everything. You don't need a big bow to overshadow the child. bit shorter. Okay, and then I'm just going to just trim the ribbon down a little bit. You can just put a little angle on it if you want to. Okay, and therefore you would have a little hat. Okay, so you can reposition and do what you need to do. And you got a cute little ribbon that would be cool for a little gift basket. That's it for today. We hope you've enjoyed.